Welcome to My Students Call Me Sensei. I'm very excited about today's program because I have with me a guest from many, many years of Isshin-Ryu Karate training under William H. Dissel and myself, who's going to perform some of the Isshin-Ryu Karates for you. One, an empty-handed kata, and then two, weapons katas. Tom Laurent joined the Academy of Isshin-Ryu Karate in 1973 at age 13, and he's still with us today. Now he's an 8th degree black belt with the designation Kyoshi, which means master instructor. And we're going to have a brief interview with Tom so you can get acquainted, and then Tom will perform the katas for us. And I think you'll find them to be entertaining and very educational. Tom Laurent, it's good to have you with us. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Sensei is a Japanese word that means teacher. And I teach Isshin-Ryu Karate for the Recreation Department of Bethel Park at Bethel Park Community Center. I've been in Isshin-Ryu Karate for over half a century. And it's been my observation, the violence is always emphasized, but the better virtues of karate is seldom seen. In this series, my purpose is to acquaint you, the viewer, with the benefits of martial arts training in general and Isshin-Ryu Karate specifically. So whether you're a martial artist already, or whether you're a person who's thought of taking martial arts, or if you're someone with no interest whatsoever in martial arts, I think you'll find this program to be of benefit to you. My name is Chuck Wallace, but my students call me Sensei. Now, those of you that have seen my program before will be familiar with the fact that William H. Dissel and I, in 1964, studied Isshin-Ryu Karate under the founder of the system, Tatsuo Shimabuku, who visited the South Hills in 1964 for several months and taught his brand of karate at a local karate school. A few years later, in 1970, William H. Dissel and I opened our own karate school after Master Shimabuku had long since gone back to Okinawa. It was called the Academy of Isshin-Ryu Karate, and it was located on Penn Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh. That was 1970s, and we had our school opened until 79. In years since then, we've been in a few other locations, and currently, our group has a dojo on Green Tree Road in Green Tree in the city of Pittsburgh, right on the border. Well, you might be surprised to know that some of the students who joined us in 1970s are still with us today, practicing and teaching the art of Isshin-Ryu Karate as it was taught to by them. And one such person is here with me today. And I'm so glad that you're here with me today, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And I just want to ask a little bit about you, Tom. Let you talk a little bit. Usually on my show I do too much talking anyway. But why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about how you got started, some of the background, and anything that you want to mention about your training, and if you give them an idea of what it is you're going to be performing today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am excited. What occurred, very interestingly and not unusual, is I was bullied. And it was during the summer. We stayed up and watched, of all people, Johnny Carson. He used to have a great TV show.
Right.
And who was on it? But Chuck Norris.
Oh, boy.
And Chuck Norris actually had a demonstration with a young boy. And my mom turned to me and said, "Is that something you think you might want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe." So she started looking through the yellow pages, what we did back then. And I came across the Academy of Isshin-Ryu Karate. So we came down. That was the first time I would meet you. And you convinced my mom to sign me up for it. It was a very exciting time for me. I have so many great memories. There was a great mystique about the school. When you walked in there, you just felt the aura, the strength of Hanshi Dissel as well as yourself. I still have great memories of you teaching me the basics in the back room, which was a ballet room, if you will, like a wooden floor, kind of like we have here, big mirrors. And I was so excited to get through those charts to move on and learn more about the karate school. It was a very exciting time for me. I did that for about 2 years. I was tempting to go to karate in tournaments, but I was always a little nervous. And I always remember, I always looked at the board over and saw the various people from our school doing very well. And I wanted to be that person. And Kiyoshi Prentice would come over and say, "Why aren't you coming? Why aren't you coming?" and I kind of quickly got out of that, and a little out of fear, a little out of no way to get there, and he was trying to get things for me, convince me. But eventually at that time, I kind of took a break. You know, two things in my life, very important, of course, karate and art. And when I started karate, I couldn't do anything but draw pictures of martial artists and different things that I was so excited about. Maybe I have a chance to share that with you. But so I did that a lot, which ended up getting me into art school. And from art school, I had to take a break. I was working and doing schooling. So that's how my karate officially started. But I loved doing the katas. One of the katas I'll be doing today, Shinto, was always my favorite. The movement, the circular movement, and the kick always lend itself to myself and just made it such a special kata for me.
Oh, that's great. Well, of course, most in the audience wouldn't realize that you have developed an incredibly good reputation in the art of Isshin-Ryu Karate, competing in championship tournaments, world championship tournaments, as well as local tournaments. The many demonstrations you've participated in, the special classes you teach, the seminars you teach, and the ongoing teaching that you do at the Isshin-Ryu Karate Academy of Pittsburgh, located in Green Tree. So you are very much a dedicated practitioner of Isshin-Ryu's Karate, and if Hanshi Dissel were with us today, he'd certainly agree with everything that I've said.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you're going to show us today.
So as I mentioned, I'd relate a story back. I mentioned Shinto kata. When I came back in 1981, once again, because of you, got me into karate, I love to say twice. He initiated the first meeting with my mom, and then we happened to run into each other on the street.
Yes, I remember.
We both got something out of it. I got karate, and you sold me insurance, because that was what you were doing at the time.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you said that was two things I really believe in, because both are very important. But since 81, I came back, and in 1983, we went to Indianapolis for a championship. I was a green belt. And I was going to do Shinto. And it was a big tournament. And I just remember in the ring it felt like it was 50, maybe 30 green belts there. But I did my kata, I felt good about it. But as it went on and on and on, and as they started to call people up, I was wondering, and I thought, oh, their third place is gone, their second. Well, then they called my name on first place, and I was in cloud nine. And that changed a bit for me. I was feeling, I think I can do this. I think I can be successful, and really propelled me.
Great.
So I was really, really excited about that. When I got my black belt in 1985, I started to compete regularly at the World Championships as well as local. And one of my favorite katas at that time was Shotan Yara no Sai. And I chose that because it was a challenge. Bo is difficult, but there's a degree of difficulty with the Sai, and I didn't think too many people could do it very well, and I charged myself with becoming as close as an expert as I could be.
Great.
And I started to compete with that. So Shotan Yara became a very favorite form of mine. I feel a close, special bond with it, let's say, and it's always been close to my heart. So I wanted to do that, perform that today once again. And then so we continued to compete through the years, and as I moved through the ranks, finally, my final form will be the Kamaha Mahiga, which is in honor of Hanshi Dissel.
Yes.
Yeah, he developed this from Tonfa Mahiga, and I wanted to try to do a tribute to him. It's a beautiful form, very dynamic, nice and flowing movement. So that's what I chose as my third one.
That's great. And I don't know if you recall or not, but at the opening of our current school in Green Tree, as a part of the demonstrations, I performed the Karma Kata and dedicated it to Hanshi William H. Dissel.
Right.
So we think a lot alike,
Absolutely.
and it's all Ishinryu karate.
Right.
So I'm proud to know you, and I'm proud to have had you as a student all these years, and I hope to have you for many more.
The thing that I look back on is, you know, I grew up in Crafton and didn't really do much other than stay in that area. To travel all over the States and compete in karate tournaments, not to mention work, was out of my realm. And because of karate, I really believe that became a fact. And we got to share many special moments
Yes.
in many different cities, doing all kinds of seminars and training together, meeting great people from all over the world at different dojos. And I just can't believe that, you know, but I owe it all really to you and to Hanshi Dissel and Ishinryu Karate.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully for both of us,
Right.
and for all of our group, it'll continue for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been so good in so many ways. I feel good about my personal training, about the people I've helped, as I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just so happy to have you on my program performing the art of Ishinryu Karate and doing it so well.
Well, thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Now, as you may well know from other programs of mine, a kata is like a real fight against imaginary opponents. The empty hand kata, of course, means that there are no weapons used. The weapons katas have weapons. The first kata that Tom Laurent will perform today is Chinto kata. Now, some of the katas are named for the stance, and others are named for the person who invented them or who is best known for them. Chinto was a sailor. Legend has it that in the 1600s he was shipwrecked. He was a Chinese sailor shipwrecked on Okinawa, and because of some hostilities between the two countries, hid out in caves and practiced his art, went out at night to secure food to eat, and he was observed at one point by a young Okinawan boy who was fascinated by his movements, by his kicks and punches and chops, and especially by his jump kick. And he approached him, and they made an arrangement that the young boy would bring him food if he, Chinto, would teach him his kata. And he did. So Chinto kata has a rich history, and I'm proud to have Tom Laurent perform it.
Jinto, cut!
The next kata to be performed is the kata with the sais. Originally, the sai was a farm implement that was used for planting, but it is a short sword, pointed at both ends, no blade. It has a foil to protect the hands. The name of this kata is Shatanyara no Sai. Now, the man who invented this kata, his name was Yara, and he was from a village in Okinawa known as Shatan. So the kata became Shatan Yara, or named for Yara from the village of Shatan. You're going to see these sais performed in blocking and striking and thrusting and stabbing to opponents coming from different directions. I think you'll find this to be highly entertaining.
Shatan Yara, no side.
The next kata is known as kama kata. If it looks to you like a sickle, well, it was a sickle and used as a sickle to cut wheat with. And when the Okinawans' weapons were confiscated by the invading Japanese, they converted these weapons, these farm implements, to use as weapons and trained with them and developed katas with them. So you'll have an opportunity to see kama kata, where Kiyoshi Laurent will be thrusting, cutting, blocking, and so forth with the kama. It's known as kama kata.
Kama Hamahiga.
In Pittsburgh, we're very proud of our rich tradition of teaching and practicing the art of Isshin-ryu Karate. We practiced under the leadership for many years of William H. Dissel, our chief instructor. William H. Dissel passed away in August of 2014, but his students, including myself and Kiyoshi Laurent and many others, continue to spread the art of Tatsuo Shimabuku as interpreted by William H. Dissel to those in the Pittsburgh area who seek to learn it from us. We're proud of what we can do, and I think our proudness, our pride is justified by the performance of Thomas Laurent today. Thank you very much for being with me today.
Thank you.
Good to have you. In closing, I would just like to say that I hope you, the viewer, have enjoyed an opportunity to see one of Isshin-Ryu Karate's finest practitioners. We're proud to have accomplished what we've accomplished for Isshin-Ryu Karate here in Pittsburgh, and we feel confident that the students we've trained can compete anywhere, not only in the United States, but anywhere else in the world. Now, the next Isshin-Ryu World Karate Championship will be held in 2019 in London, England. This is, with one exception, the first one that's not been held in the continental United States. Several years ago, it was held on Okinawa. Many of us from Pittsburgh did not attend that. But we're looking forward to that, to competing with some of the people on the British Isles and from Europe, and I feel confident that our people will make a good showing of themselves. And today we've had an opportunity through Tom Laurent to see what Isshin-Ryu Karate looks like. We're always striving for perfection of technique, and the main goal is perfection of self. On September 15th, 2018, my newest granddaughter was born. Her name is Madison Harper Wallace. Congratulations to her mother, Christy, and to her father, Chuck. This program is dedicated to Madison. Thank you for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.